Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm Sophia Parola with Garden State Film Festival, and I am honored to be interviewing the people here today that I also know and have worked with. They are the makers of, they're behind the making of the feature film, The Arrangement, that is extremely successful and one of the many films that are accepted into Garden State Film Festival. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming today. How's everybody doing? Number one.
Good.
Doing good.
Okay.
Good.
Hanging in there. I know it's a tough time.
Yeah,
I would love for
no.
you all. Oh, sorry, Danny. I'd love for you all to introduce yourself and your title in the film, just for everyone watching. And can we start off with you, Jake?
Absolutely. My name is Jake Hunsicker, and I am the director of The Arrangement.
Thank you. And the writer, right? And producer.
Co-writer.
So humble.
And
And Jen, would you like to go next?
Sure. My name is Jennifer MK, and I play Jessica, one of the leads, and I also was a producer on the film.
Thank you, Jen. And last but not least, Danny.
I am Danny Donnelly, and I played Harry Frick, one of the leads, and also helped produce.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So Jake, as director and co-writer of The Arrangement, I would love for you just to tell everyone who's watching a little synopsis about this feature film Arrangement, please.
yeah, no problem. Well, the film basically follows two very different detectives who have to team up to try to solve a string of midnight deaths that are all connected by a single photograph that continuously has the next, who they assume is the next victim, appear in the photo. So from there on out, they kind of go down a rabbit hole of mystery, and it's hard to give. It's hard to give the whole synopsis without giving it a little bit away, but it's basically that. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you. I know we don't want to give anything away, especially because the film itself is so like mysterious and unpredictable. And I really love the twists and turns. So I wouldn't want anyone to have any sneak peeks of that. But so, I mean, I don't know if I mentioned when we started recording, but I had the pleasure of not only being able to act in this film, but like know you all individually and work with you guys. And I got to witness like the beautiful talent and creativity. I'm completely honestly in the crew and in the cast. It's phenomenal. I know that you guys from firsthand put a lot of hard work into it. So I just love to ask you each like how that process was. But Jake, just starting off with you, being a co-writer, and I think it was, I'm not exactly sure when you wrote it, but I feel like it was a few years ago. Just what was the process of coming up with this idea and the process of being a co-writer in this, and yeah, how did it go from the premise to the writing to like the production phase? What was that process like for you?
Well, it's interesting, Sophia, because like my father actually wrote the initial draft in like the year 2000 when I was probably like 6 or 7 years old. And as I got older, I kind of grew up and I started reading the script. And as I kind of started delving into filmmaking, we started talking about making it. And then, I kind of just teamed up with him, and, we redrafted it a couple times because, their initial draft was, I think it took place in like the 70s through like the early 2000s. So a lot of it was just like modernizing technology, changing some characters around, adding dialogue, doing different things. So, I mean, really the spine of the story was always my father's, completely. So, but yeah, I mean, I really was just dialogue and characters and different developments like that. But really the spine was always there.
Wow. Oh my God, that's so amazing. I mean, shout out to Andrew, who I also know, your dad, who I didn't know he was originally the one who wrote the draft. That's so phenomenal. And then it started in the 70s. That's so cool how it came about. I'd love to like ask Jen and Danny, but I'll just start off by asking Danny, what was the process like of filming this? But I know you also must have been there for the production phase. So what was it like getting to that production phase and casting and finding out locations? Because feature film, I mean, there's so much that goes into it. So what was that like? And then to piggyback off that question, how was it like to be that producer and deal with all that and then jump into, the character development and starting off with Danny, just becoming Harry? I mean, what is it like to be a producer and then act as Harry in this film?
Well, in terms of like the producer side, I was mostly there for like the read-throughs and everything like that. We would give our opinions and stuff. In terms of like the production side though, that was all Andrew, and I'll say mostly Jen on that. Jen is a scheduling whiz. in terms of like getting who's on set, what time, when, down to wardrobe and keeping track of all that. Like there's a lot of different days shot in one day. So like keeping track of wardrobe and continuity, and I think there was probably like 7 of us on crew. I mean, it was like, it was a tight crew, a tight family. So I honestly wasn't really a part of that as much, but in terms of like the script changing and then them asking me to play Harry Frick, and it was like, okay, well, this is a whole different person from me, myself. And then talking to Jake and the look of the character and what he wanted, and the Joaquin Phoenix, her mustache came into play. And so I grew that out and had that for a few months, which was great. Even my dentist didn't recognize me when I went in, which was funny. But just and then developing that and like, putting on a little bit of weight and deciding how this character should speak and move, and in terms of also being the contrast to Jen's character, Jessica, who was more of the strong female detective. And it was just a lot of work and a lot of personal sacrifice, not just from me, but from other of the local talent here, that we all work together. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that people don't see, that these actors and upcoming talent go through just to give the performances that you see in this production. So kudos to everyone who was cast in this, and I got to give it up to all the supporting characters as well, who we all work together so well, and under Jake's direction was awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you, Danny. I mean, wonderfully said. Yes, shout out to all of them. And like, definitely, not only just the way you look is different, you could tell by the way you walk and talk. It's amazing. I'm sure people seeing you now, they'll be like, that's the same, that's Harry in the film. It's really crazy that development went into that. So absolutely what you said, so true. And Jen, I mean, being that organizing whiz and dealing with, a feature film, so many of the cast members, so many of those locations, what is it like trying to get everyone in their place when they're supposed to be? I mean, that's a lot to deal with. So what is that like, that production process? And then to have to take that hat away and then go into Jessica, I mean, what was that like for you?
So I guess Andrew reached out to me a few years ago about the role. It was a few years before we started filming. And so from that moment on, we sort of started talking locations, we started talking cast, we started talking all of those items. And so I developed the schedule early on, not so much with dates, but more just scenes and who needs to be where, and what characters in each scene, because obviously we didn't have the cast yet. And so I basically just spoke to Andrew multiple times a week for like a good part of a year, working on pre-production and just kind of getting everything super organized, so that when we came to filming, I wouldn't have to do quite as much. So everything was kind of set up ahead of time. So then it was just kind of troubleshooting and putting out the fires that came while we were actually shooting. Andrew wanted me to like step back completely when we were shooting, but of course I can't do that because I'm too committed and I'm too involved. And I just, it's hard for me to step back. So when I was actually Jessica, I tried to do less. I was on set every day regardless. So when I wasn't Jessica, I got to kind of help Jake and, kind of AD and do things like that. But when I was Jessica, I really tried to kind of stay in the other room when I wasn't on set, to try to, stay with Jessica and focus on my lines. And the good thing is Jessica was pretty close to who I am. So it didn't take us, like Danny had to develop a character that was completely different than him, but Jessica was written and she had a lot of similar traits as me. So it was very easy for me to connect with her. And it was very easy for me to like walk on, be Jessica, and then kind of step off and like maybe address a production issue. With the exception of there's like, it was I think 2 very emotionally draining days for Jessica's character. But other than that, she kind of had like a nice, strong-willed, like fun. Her and Harry had a lot of fun dynamic to the relationship, where it wasn't as there wasn't as many hard days as there were easy days, I guess, for us as actors, because they were kind of just like fun, and we got to like drive around, we got to investigate. It wasn't until the story really came together later in the script that we kind of had to be really emotional. So it was overall like really, really fun set with fun people, and it was good.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jen. I mean, and I commend you on being able to switch off from that producer hat and then put on that Jessica outfit, and just to be able to be in Jessica's mode while dealing with all that in the back of your head. I'm sure it wasn't easy. So like, literally props to you. That's so amazing. I want to bring my next question to you, Jake. I mean, what is it like directing a feature film? I mean, I've been talking to a lot of people who've been directing these short films, and I know that, you know, this had a lot of locations, as I said, and a lot of actors, and just so many twists and turns. And I mean, I don't know how long the process it took to filming, but just what is it like directing this feature film in particular? And how do you feel now, having been done and having it reach the success that it's reached just in the beginning?
Honestly, it was an incredible experience. I had directed a couple shorts before, most of which I'd worked with Danny, and you know, directing a short, you know, it's an isolated event. It's a couple pages usually. Usually locations are minimal compared to a feature. So that was the biggest change, was just all the different locations you had to account for, and then you had to find. And but honestly, like doing a feature, it was an incredible experience. But really, Jen and Danny made it so easy on me with, like, you know, their chemistry on set and like their devotion to their characters. They were excellent. Danny also, forgot to mention, he shot second camera on a couple of scenes that he wasn't acting in, and Jen was amazing with her organization and her scheduling, and my father produced the hell out of it and acted the hell out of it, and you know, everybody on the crew was amazing. So it was just such a collaborative effort, and that, I mean, I just appreciate that. And looking back at it now, I mean, I'm just so glad that, you know, it's seemingly I'm just happy that people really seem to have taken a positive look to it, and people are enjoying it, because it really was a wonderful experience, and everybody on set was amazing. So really, it was great.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Only people can hope that they had such a great experience directing such an intense film that you had. That's amazing. And I'd love, like, we're wrapping up on the last few minutes of this interview. I'd love just to ask you, Jake, or anyone who wants to weigh in, how does it feel to have this film accepted into Garden State Film Festival? I mean, why did you want to submit to Garden State in the first place? And what are you hoping audience members get out of watching this film?
It feels amazing to be accepted into this wonderful film festival. You know, it's, you guys, they pick the best films always, you know, and they have an eye for, you know, just wonderful cinema. And I'm just, you know, ecstatic that they included our film in there. You know, it's amazing. I just hope that people enjoy it. That's really what it comes down to. I hope they enjoy it, and I hope they, you know, I hope they find the message in the film that I'm kind of hoping to convey, you know, and I don't want to give anything away, but I hope they enjoy it and they walk away with more than they came in with, you know.
Love that, Jake. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Jen and Danny, I'd love just to hear some last words if you want to weigh in on anything. I mean, how does it feel having your face going to be on that large screen, and you're the leads of this feature film that is going to be premiering at Garden State? I mean, how do you guys feel? After all the work too.
Yeah, Jen, you can go first.
Okay. I think I'm just really grateful. I'm grateful to have the opportunity. And as an actor, it's always amazing to get accepted into a festival and then get to, you know, attend the screening and kind of see your work and kind of see how people react to your work. So I'm just super grateful. I'm grateful that Andrew and Jake chose me for the role. I'm grateful I got to be such a large part of it. And I'm for how beautiful it turned out in the end. It really, like Jake said, it was so collaborative, and it was just a great experience. And can't wait to work with this team again, because it's just amazing. And getting accepted to a festival such as this is just, it's very, you feel honored, you feel, you know, like your work is paying off. So it's just awesome. So thank you.
Thank you, Jen.
And I guess I'll just piggyback off that. It's just a wonderful experience just to be a part of a film that's going to be seen by other people and given a platform to be shown. Because it's not easy in terms of, as an actor, like, you know, in the theater, you get that immediate reaction and feedback when you're performing on stage. But with film, it's like trying to get people to see it and like get it out there. It's always tough. So kudos to the, you know, Garden State Film Festival for choosing, you know, the arrangement and being able to showcase all the wonderful talent that went into this production to a wider audience. So we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Wonderful, guys. I mean, I really cannot say enough how amazing it is just to hear you guys talk about the work that you put into this, and that I was able to see it like firsthand. I know that I think you mentioned, Danny, like about a family, and it really was. I mean, not only Jake, a lot of your family was in the cast and the crew and on set, but you guys itself, the whole crew, you guys are like family. And I know you work with each other a lot, and it's just so amazing to see such a beautiful collaboration. I mean, I know people are going to see that as long as an amazing script and an amazing plot with this film. They're going to see that love and passion that you guys really put into it. So congratulations to you all. Let me tell everyone how you can see the arrangement. It will be premiering Sunday, the 28th, March 28th, in Asbury Hotel in the venue of Asbury Hall in the film block, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. So very cool because it's a hybrid this year. So this will be premiering in person, but also people who want to be, stay home and just keep it a little more quiet can also watch it virtually. So it's really awesome. I hope you guys will be there and they get to meet some of the amazing stars and filmmaker and you, Jake. It's amazing. So I'm so happy that you guys get to have this premiere at Garden State. And congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sophia.
Thank you, Sophia.
There's always sacrifice in the realization of your dream. There's always a price.
Please let me out of here, please! Let me go! How about the fact that he is in possession of a picture of the victim? Sees the victim just prior to his death.
Do you really think Harry could have done this?
Yes!
I'm Detective Frick, this is Detective Alvarez. We are investigating the recent death of Lucy Gordon.
A man will not realize his dreams unless he gives something up.
Suspect, witness, an unresolved death.
Let's finish this.
All that I have missed in my life is right here.
Don't do it. It's not worth it.
How much would you give up to get what you've always wanted?
You're looking for less than money.
No!
Careful what you wish for, Billy. You might just get it.
It's worse than you could imagine, Jess.
And then came the terms.